Hi, Dr. Karen Can here with another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. Well, I'm just almost beside myself in excitement and almost forgot to record this because I was so excited all day long. Well, really, really cool discoveries this week. I feel incredibly blessed and still on a high from my holistic healing event the previous weekend. But after interviewing Lloyd Meir about the balancing by numbers, it struck me that, you know, there is a way in which the Tolpacan healing can accelerate a lot of other wonderful healing techniques and modalities. And I realized it was very possible to insert these positive missing frequencies of these numbers that would help balance our systems immediately with the Tolpacan healing just by making that command. Now, what was really fascinating was what Lloyd Meir was talking about, the abundance or prosperity frequency that people like Bill Gates or Warren Buffett have that many of us don't have. It doesn't mean necessarily that once you have that one frequency that all of a sudden you're going to be a millionaire. But I think it's pretty important if you are interested in material prosperity, and there's nothing wrong with that, it's part of abundance, that wouldn't you want to have that positive frequency? So I tested myself, and guess what? I didn't have it. I didn't have it. So I was like, hey, okay. Now here's the cool thing about Tolpacan healing. I do not actually need to know Lloyd Meir's number in order to insert it into my energy field. However, I did find some imbalances that were blocking this number from being downloaded and also being held in my energy system. So I actually removed those with the Tolpacan healing, and then there was space for this frequency to come in. So I have since commanded that frequency into me, and it'll be very interesting to see what happens. The other really cool thing about this whole idea of missing frequencies is that a lot of times I'm very used to, like in the body code and motion code, is removing imbalances, finding and removing imbalances. And now that a lot of imbalances are, healed, especially in this lifetime, it's really cool to go, oh, wow, maybe there are missing frequencies. And in fact, one of the frequencies that my energy system said I needed was actually a Lemurian frequency, not even human, was not even in Lloyd Meir's book. I've also been reading the Anahata codes. You can get that free, by the way, at anahata.com. And these are positive nature frequencies you can download into your system. So the first time I looked at the Anahata codes, my body wanted three frequencies. One was the planetary frequency of Mercury. The other was an archetype of the magician, which I absolutely love. It was like one of my favorite archetypes. So I didn't have that frequency in me, which is kind of funny because feel like I have it, but that's the one I needed that day. And then the third was an animal totem, which was the rhinoceros. Now go look up animal totems and look up what the rhinoceros means. I think you'll have a good laugh. It's like, oh my gosh. It was so right on. It was fascinating. And I feel different, definitely. I won't say in what ways, some are some personal ways, but I do feel different, and one of which is having hot flashes. And I don't mean like, menopausal hot flashes, but generally feeling warmer, like my body is on fire in a good way, metabolic way. The other thing I really discovered really cool as well is one of my patients came in with an interest in this one herb or herbal combination called Chowa. And he did muscle test well for it. So the story on it was really, really cool about this, old Japanese guy on a mountaintop, was healing all these people. And after 30 years of trying, this other doctor finally got him to reveal the formula, and now they do sell it worldwide. And so my patient did resonate with that one. So I decided I was going to use Aquaware to emulate Chowa and add that to my quantum layering session. And I have some things that I've changed in my quantum layering session. Interestingly, the Chowa, I could only do a maximum of 39% power, which is everything else I have is like 88, 97%, but that one is only 39%, which I think is very interesting. So it'll be interesting to see a long term what that's like, but I can tell you that there's definitely changes in my system, my physical body, since doing the Aquaware and emulating the Chowa. more about frequencies and abundance, back to that. There are, I found today, 3 other frequencies that I was missing, that because I asked the question, is there any frequencies that I don't have, but people that I admire have, that are incredibly successful and are doing wonderful, positive things in the world, like the Jack Canfields, the Louise Hayes, the Jennifer McLeans, and sure enough, I got that there were 3 frequencies that I was missing that they all have. And now these things are very specific to me, so it doesn't necessarily mean that you may or may not, need those frequencies. But I found out what each of those made a lot of sense to me. And so again, took away whatever it was preventing them from being downloaded to me or held in my energy field, which wasn't that much actually. There, in this case, I don't think there was anything blocking it, and so I just downloaded those frequencies today. The other thing I did for many of you that are indigos, adults, children, is that in the past, the radio shows, I talked about how indigos have a real addiction issue. That is their dark side, and that is their Achilles heel, and it prevents them from being truly who they are and maximizing who they are. Well, I asked if there was a frequency missing causing this problem, and the answer was yes. And what was really fascinating was the block was that like centuries and centuries ago, like before Lemuria, before Atlantis, that there was some sort of agreement that humans made with, I guess you would call extraterrestrials, that there was going to be some sort of block on emotional expression or something along those lines. And somehow the side effect of that is for those with activated DNA, those with indigos, that they would actually have an increased vulnerability to addictions. But the really cool news is I got permission that, hey, you know what? We don't need this block anymore. We're ascending. Yes, our emotional, we can have our full breadth of emotional expression and connection with each other, and it's safe to do that now. So I can remove that block for everyone who, is more than willing usually to remove those kinds of negative or non-supportive energies anymore, and then install the new frequency that was missing, that was causing indigos to have these addiction issues. So I'm really excited about that. Of course, this is not going to work in everyone. I tested about 80-something% of people. Certainly the indigos that I am taking care of, that I mentor, that I see, in my office, pretty much all of them were able to receive fully this frequency all at once, which was very cool that we can do this with Topocan healing. Woohoo! So I don't know whether or not, if you're an indigo, whether or not you necessarily have, there's a few indigos that actually already have the frequency, but a lot of them don't, so they have these addiction problems. But hopefully, if you were one of the receptive ones, you will have shifted as well. And it is my hope and my intention that if it's something you want, go ahead and muscle test yourself. Do I have, a frequency missing that causes me to have addiction or addiction tendencies? If you're an indigo, please check that. Same thing with the prosperity number. What's the prosperity frequency? Do I have the prosperity frequency that Bill Gates and all those other wealthy people have? Am I missing that? And then you can go ahead and download that into your system immediately. I do not, if you're doing Topocan healing, most of you are already Topo tuned, so you just need to know you can use that frequency to do the healing. So you can, instead of necessarily having to repeat it 7 times and 3-5 times a day for 2 weeks, we can do it much faster now because so many of us are Topo tuned, and the more you use the Topa energies, the more powerful you get, the faster it goes in. So it may take you, 25 hours to assimilate the new energies, or it may take you 5 or 2 or 1, I don't know. You can muscle test all that really cool information. So Topocan healing is really about creativity and intention and focused intention. There's a lot you can do. And last week we talked about changing the weather, so hopefully you guys have been practicing that. And So check out the radio show next week with Jenny No. We are doing our spiritual medicine radio show, and we're going to be working on abundance. So we are actually going to be doing a healing on everyone to remove self-limiting beliefs and other things, blocks to prosperity and abundance. And as well, I will be doing an insertion, if you will, a download for all of you who want that prosperity frequency. So you don't have to be live in the show, but you definitely do have to listen to the show in order to get that healing done. So I really hope that you will join us. Just get on my mailing list. You'll get an email of the link that you can click on and the phone numbers you can call in live to the show. The second half of the show, we will be doing individual healings on people, and it was really popular last month, so this should be fun. So if you have a dire need or major issue you need dealt with, please, call us in for the live show so we can do a mini healing on you. All right, so that's my really cool news for this week. I hope you have a wonderful week, and keep creating, keep intending. Remember, you are already TOPA attuned. There will be a couple upcoming classes that I'm going to be doing on Learn It Live, and one of them I'm calling, Detoxify and Rejuvenate Your Energy Body. And it's a lot of the stuff that we did at the Holistic Healing event, the energy clearing techniques. There's some new ones, more refined ones. So if you've taken my Light Warrior class, some of this will be similar to you, some of it won't. So you can go to Learn Live and check it out. If you are on my mailing list, you will get an email in the near future, in the next couple of weeks, with a discount code that you can get 100% off the tuition for that class. So be on the lookout for that, and at some point in the future I will be doing an introduction to Topacan healing as well. So you're Topa attuned, but a lot of times you're like, well, what do I do with this? How do I do the healing? What are the commands? How do I do this? So I will be sharing with you kind of step by step in this introduction how to go about starting to do your own self-healing. And it just takes a lot of creativity and intention, but it's super, super fun. And so, again, just make sure you're on my mailing list. Subscribe to, if you're on YouTube, subscribe button below to make sure you don't miss a single episode of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. I love you all and have a wonderful week. Bye.